How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. I'm Will, and today we're opening up the newest expansion for Marvel Villainous Mischief and Malice. So this is the Target exclusive, and I'm not terribly excited about it, but at least you guys get to see what comes in the Target exclusive. We wanted the actual regular box, which comes with the green Loki, not the Frost Giant blue Loki, because things and stuff. And I just don't feel like it fits, right? I feel like thematically and everything, Loki's known with the green. I mean, even the box is green, right? We know Loki is green and gold. We get the blue, the Frost Giant, son of the Frost Giant. We get that. I just don't think it feels. The other thing is, and we'll see, is it doesn't have, it's not like the same look, right? All the Marvel Villainous, if you saw our previous unboxing, are non-translucent. This one, of course, being that Frost Giant Icy, they kind of made it translucent, so it doesn't fit as well as. So Amazon canceled our pre-order, which is really bad for a content creator to get your stuff canceled at the very last minute. We ran out, found this at one of our Targets. It was the only one left, so we are glad we got it because that way we can create some videos for you guys. With that said, let's go ahead and get inside this box. So you can see here, it does come with the special Frost version. There are going to be 3 new villains. Of course, with any Villainous game, you can combine these with the previous sets. Well, except for Disney. You can't combine Disney and Marvel, and that's because there are some gameplay differences, primarily the shared fate deck, as well as being able to move into other realms and having affecting your opponent more. Of course, in the Disney Villainous, if you watched our gameplays, you can only affect really yourself, except for when a fate card comes out. So there it goes. It says mix and match between these two. Now I'm going to try to get this out. Every time I do it, well, that actually came out a lot easier than. Sometimes it's hard to get this thing off. I've seen other people talk about how they've had to rip. It basically rips the box to get it off, and I've had a hard time putting it back on sometimes. So here we go. There is the green box. So it's got that nice little effect with the shiny. You like the shiny. All right, so here is the instruction book. So none of the rules change between this and the main game. Same thing, we'll just kind of skim through it. There sometimes is new, yeah. Sometimes there are new actions or conditions. So of course the specific, either the player reference, the book, or the villain, like the little villain pamphlet that comes in. We'll talk about those specifically. So, of course, if you want to know how to play those villains, read the cards. But, of course, here is the rest of it. Like I mentioned, the impact of being able to play against your opponents because you can move to the other locations, the shared fate deck, and then, of course, the new event cards, which are... Where are they going to talk about the event cards? Up here. Event cards. Are some of the differences between the two. You can mix the games, as you can see here. Basically, you remove the events from the decks, you combine all of them together, and then you basically just deal out 11 cards from it. I don't know, I don't know if you have to only do 11. I don't know what the ramifications would be if you actually played more than 11. I don't know if it would make a difference or not. So let's go ahead and we will start with the fact that, as you notice, once the cards are out of their wonderful little binding that they put them in, they slide around, and because the fate deck, it gives you more cards, it kind of sits higher. I think the only way you'd be able to make this work is you'd have to split it up into 3 separate ones, and even that I think is going to be a little bit. So I gotta find if they make I know they make Velcro ones, but the problem with that, I feel like that'd be too thick. If they have these little things you could slide on that's a little bit thinner, that way they would stay. Okay, we'll go through that in a minute. All right, so we'll go through each of the villains like we did in the last one. So the first one is M.O.D.O.K, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember what M.O.D.O.K stands for. I'm trying to think of it. No, not coming to me. All right, you guys let me know down in the comments, what does M.O.D.O.K stand for? All right, so his is, add to my to-do list, violently eliminate all hostile coworkers and restore self-controlling power at AIM. So, of course, AIM was taken down in the comics. I don't know if it's come back. Sunspot? I think Sunspot, the X-Men Sunspot. is now the leader of AIM, and he's using it for good, I think. Currently in the comics, there's this weird thing going on. I'm about 2016 is where I'm reading. So his objective is to activate the Cosmic Cube. Of course, we know the Cosmic Cube from the movies if you watch the movies, and well, from the comics if you read the comics. So AIM Laboratory, AIM Island, which is in the Bahamas, really nice place to go visit. AIM Submarine, AIM Warehouse, and of course, Specialty, which is one thing I didn't really talk about in the previous video. We saw a couple specialty, but that is one other difference, is you get a specialty card, which is an ongoing effect, whereas in Disney Villainous, you play the specialty card during, or it's a condition card, I think it's a condition card, during your opponent's turn to have an effect. In Marvel, it's an ongoing effect. There's nothing, so Madame Masque, there's nothing sadder than broken superhero, and by sadder I mean more delightful. Her objective is to vanquish 8 heroes to settle her vendetta. That actually seems kind of, well, I'd say it seems kind of easy, but here's the thing. If somebody is going to fate somebody, you can choose not to fate Madame Masque, right? If you're playing a 3 or 4 player game, you would just say, I'm not going to fate Madame Masque. I might actually get a hero card that I have to play into her realm that she can defeat. So I'm going to imagine her deck is designed to find heroes, and we'll find that out when we go through the deck. They got Manhattan, Hell's Kitchen, Nefaria Castle, and the Magia Casino ship. Magia? You say tomato, I say tomato. And then, of course, the star of the show, the headliner on the box, Loki. Fire and Chaos are coming, and I am the Lord of Chaos. Now, we have to admit we are behind on our Disney Plus shows. We still got to watch The Mandalorian, we got to watch all the Marvel ones. So Loki, Scarlet Witch, Winter Soldier, Falcon. Yeah, we're behind. We just need to take like a day, because we can marathon them all pretty much in a day, I think, now. So Loki's objective, gain and spend 10 mischief, so he's going to get mischief and spend mischief. We have Odin's Throne, the Bifrost, Jotunheim, and Sanctum Sanctorum, which is kind of the weirdest one of the bunch. I'm guessing Doctor Strange is in his deck. It's the only reason that would make any sense, because otherwise, why would it be in there? All right, so let's go through the villain pieces. So you do have M.O.D.O.K's loyalty. Somebody did mention that this was weird, that they did this as this long bar for his loyalty, whereas with everybody else, they get the small little square, or the card, right? The cardboard card, which would make it the same size. So this is Madame Masque. So see, she's got a vendetta tracker. That's what doesn't make sense. Like, okay, you made her tracker a card. You made his tracker a big long stick. And then Vendetta. If Vendetta is at 0 to 3, gain 2 power. If Vendetta is at 4 to 7, gain 1 power and a villain card. Okay. So the further you get, the more you get to accelerate on this activate ability. So that's kind of nice. And I was wondering what this little thing in here was for, but this is for her. So there you go. A nice little clippy clip there. It's not bad. It works. It's going to serve its purpose. Okay. Oh, I didn't notice that. See, it's kind of like it's getting wider, so it kind of breaks whatever it's going through. That's kind of neat. That's really well done. Nice. All right, and then we got our reference card. So nothing different there. The only difference is on the back. Of course, it's going to tell you the objectives for them. So of course, if you're playing both games, you'll need to have 2 of these. If you care to know what your opponent does. So I usually can kind of remember what my opponent does, so I'm never really needing to know what my opponent does. And if I ever forget, I just ask my opponent, what are you trying to do? Loki's villain guide. So we're not going to really go through these. We'll just kind of look at. So he does have a special setup with the mischief tokens. Place all mischief tokens on the side, which I'm thinking these must be down in the bottom. We'll get to these. And then his multiverse. So he has this special multiverse. So this is what I was saying. Certain new mechanics will be added. In this case, it is multiverse characters. He's the only one with them. So there are fate cards that say get rid of a multiverse character. That's not going to impact somebody else. So then it's like, well, fate wasn't on your side, as they say, right? You have Verity as an ally. Thor, brother of Loki. Okay, so they actually have Thor as an ally. I mean, Verity, I know Verity's a good guy too. So that's what's weird. I mentioned it in the last unboxing, and then I'll say it here too, because plays the same role as what I was saying, is that they try to make Loki a good guy when he's really a bad guy. Even when he was a good guy, he was doing it for his own gains. The only time I think Loki's ever really been a good guy in the comics was when he was, I think when he was Kid Loki and he had like amnesia and forgot, and he was trying to start, like he knew he was bad, but he was trying to be good, and he was part of the Young Avengers. I think that's when he met Verity. Verity can tell if somebody's telling a lie, so she could tell if Loki was lying. So Loki had to always be honest, right? And it made him better. And then shortly right after that, then he went back to his old tricks again. So you have the 10 realms, and then of course he has his own. Each one has their own unique event and fate card that impacts them. And then Madame Masque. So Madame Masque always goes first. Okay. Then Vanquish choice. So that's her tracker. Vanquish a hero for contract power equal to the vanquished heroes. So she gains power that way. Okay. She gains power through most of the stuff that she does, plus vanquishing them, plus that vendetta tracker. Okay. Long distance vanquish actions. Line of sight allows Madame Masque to take a vanquish against a hero in any domain. Okay. So I was wondering, I'm like, if the people wanted to play against you and not fate you, meaning you don't get any heroes, how are you going to kill them? There you go. That's how you kill them. So that is that. And I did see Tony Stark there. So they didn't give her Iron Man. They gave her Tony Stark, which is kind of weird. And then M.O.D.O.K. M.O.D.O.K is intelligent. He wants the Cosmic Cube for aim. So he's got a loyalty marker. And then you move up his loyalty. And then it's just telling how to get your loyalty. Dealing with heroes the M.O.D.O.K way. By using Sign of Glass to reduce a hero to 0 strength, M.O.D.O.K can vanquish them without losing allies. Okay. Dealing with heroes, M.O.D.O.K continued. Infinite calculations. Unique fate cards. So they have the Hulk in here as well, which is kind of weird to me. Like, I get it. If it's thematic, you got to put him in there. I mean, they could have done Bruce Banner, right? M.O.D.O.K's smart. Bruce Banner's smart. They could have gone that way like they did with Tony Stark in Madame Masque's guide. So let's get the components out so we can finish our component overview. And then we will get into the cards. So everything in here is the same. So you get your +1, -1 for strength, because you can add and remove the strength. And then you have the, there you go, the Loki markers. And then somewhere in here is, there it is. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put all these in a different bag, because if you've seen our Disney Villainous playthroughs, we don't use these power tokens. We actually use some gems we got off eBay. We always have that link down in the show notes to Amazon. Doesn't cost you anything, just gives us a couple dollars, right? But there you go. There is M.O.D.O.K's token. So he's the same on both sides. They should have made him happy on one side, sad on the other. That would have been funny. Cute, funny, all the above. All right, you guys get back in there. All right. So this is the Fate deck. So as I mentioned in the core unboxing, if you haven't watched that, you can go back and watch that to see all the stuff in the core box. But down the bottom on the core box, it has the copyright and the version. On this one, they realized that's not a good idea, and they went ahead and moved it to the front. So if you are playing mixed between the two, and one person's playing a particular villain from the core box, you want to make sure you put in the core set's event cards as well. Do a good mix of the two, because if you don't, then you're going to know, oh, well, that's the core villain's, fate, and then I, as that villain, would be like, nope, I'm going to fate this turn because I don't want that card coming to me, right? Because if it's your own fate, it's not going to necessarily impact you. And the heroes aren't the big deal when it's your heroes. It's more that event card, right? Because if it's your event, you don't want that event, right? So our heroes this time, we got Agent 13. We got Deathlock. So they're going into S.H.I.E.L.D. It looks like this one, the first one was more Avengers. This one looks like it's all S.H.I.E.L.D. Like model decoy, so it does have Nick Fury Jr. That's Nick Fury Jr. in the comics. In the movies, of course, it was just Nick Fury. And speaking of which, they didn't have the regular Nick Fury in there. Maria Hill, so S.H.I.E.L.D. Belinda May, S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, all of them say S.H.I.E.L.D. Mockingbird, so she's actually in both now. And then they have Nick Fury in both, S.H.I.E.L.D. Peggy Carter of S.H.I.E.L.D. Bill Coulson of S.H.I.E.L.D. Quake of S.H.I.E.L.D. All right. And then your event infiltrated. Why was I struggling over the word infiltrated? All allies currently in play receive -1 strength. Any ally that is played receives -1 strength token. So oh wow, so everything gets -1 until you defeat this. 8 strength to defeat it, but once you do, they all gain +2. So it's really giving you +1 because one's going to turn this into a +1 and then the other one. So it's really putting you back at neutral, I guess. Huh. I have to look that up. I'm trying to think, okay, when you complete it, do you get rid of the -1 and then add +2? Or does +2 means this -1 turns into a 0 and then you add another +1? So it's really just giving you +1. I have to look that up. I'd imagine at some point there's going to be rule clarification. New expansion. People will probably ask it over at One Board Game Geek. Knock knock. No fade actions can be played. When played, add 1 for every shield hero in play. +1. +1 what? +1 what? When played. Oh, add +1. Okay, here we go. There it is, down here. So basically, it requires 1 additional strength for each shield hero in play. Wow. Incoming. Riding in Lola with the jets and the helicarrier, all kinds of flying things, Quinjets and fighter jets and helicarriers. Oh my! Incoming. All heroes currently in play receive 1 strength. Any hero that is played receives 1 strength. And then same thing, so reward. All heroes in play receive -2 strength. So I would think that would be minus this 1 and then -1 more. That's the way we're going to play it, because that makes the most sense to me. I think defeating it and then giving them, like removing that minus and then adding another 2 would make it a little bit overpowered. Under surveillance, all players must play with their hands fully revealed to other players. That's not as bad for me and Oddity. We try to hide our cards, but we don't do it too well. So it really doesn't matter too much. All right, so this is the M.O.D.O.K deck. So you do have Iron Man, Silver Centurion. So it's one of the older Iron Man. You must use 2 or more allies to vanquish. All right, that's not good. You do have Captain America here. With the shield when played, the Avenger and Avenger in their name, so it's got Avenger down here in the bottom. They gain additional strength. She-Hulk Avenger, she costs +1 power if Avenger is your domain. Hulk covers 3 different spots, and then when you knock him out the first time, he covers 2, and then when you knock him out again, so you actually have to beat him twice. So basically, think of that as 12 strength. Traitor, remove any ally from the domain. If M.O.D.O.K is the target villain, he loses 2 loyalty. So this is where some of the cards are better if they actually hit the particular villain. Because again, this would be in the shared deck, the shared fate deck. So it's possible that this could be against somebody other than the character that this came from. Powerless, remove an item from the target. M.O.D.O.K, he loses some loyalty. Oh no, he loses all. It goes down to 1. Wow. Aim Revolt, loyalty is set to 1 and cannot advance. But once you finish it, it goes to 5. So this could actually kind of be an advantage. Like if you had it at like 3, it'll go down to 1. If you knock this out, it goes up to 5. You actually you can gain loyalty off of that, right? So as to be expected, his henchmen or his low-level guys are of course going to be the AIM soldiers. He's just going to have a bunch of these out of Belgium. There we go. And then you have AIM Scientist. If it's used, you get some loyalty. So you get a couple of those. AIM Scientist Supreme. When she is played with other allies in their name, you get +1 strength. At the start of turn, for fewer than 3 AIM, you lose 1 loyalty. Ooh, though. That's got a positive and negative. All right, Leader. So this is, okay, makes sense why Hulk's in here now, because they have the Leader in here. So while he's in play, everything costs 1 less. Super Adaptoid, which basically has the ability to learn all of the other heroes. He adapts to the other heroes. That's why he's got like Iron Man, he's got Captain America, Hulk. I don't know what they're going for back here on this back arm though. Whatever he's going for on that back arm. So here's the Cosmic Cube that he's trying to get. When Cosmic Cube is played, gain 1 loyalty. Win the game. Cosmic Cube can only be activated if loyalty is at 5 and creating the cube is in play. So you have to do creating the cube first. So this Psionic Blast, we saw that. That's how he gets rid of the heroes. So it's -1 strength. So basically you can just keep -1ing your strength until it's 0. Aim Attack, reveal, play immediately for no cost. That's good. So basically get your AIM soldiers out. Kill M.O.D.O.K, 4 allies in their name and play, gain a loyalty. So yeah, that goes in hand with the other one, right? You want to be able to get your allies out. All of them basically work off of each other. So the more you have of each ally, the more they're going to improve each other. You're going to get more strength. You're going to get more loyalty. You're going to get these here, which get you more loyalty. So the question is, do you really need to knock out the heroes, right? Remove a hero and ally from your domain, lose 1 loyalty. So you lose loyalty for getting rid of the hero, but you get your... oh, and an ally. Ooh, so yeah, that's kind of bad. That's a bad effect. I mean, it's free, but I guess if you're bogged down with heroes that are making you not be able to do things. Infinite calculations. Take an uncovered action in your domain. Okay. You get a free action somewhere in your domain. Calculate probability to discard any number of cards. Draw cards equal. Okay, so it's a refresh. Raising a cube. Here you go. So you pay 3 power. You gain 1 loyalty. You may activate creating cube as long as you have at least 1 ally with scientist in their name or leader in play. Okay, so then you do the creating the cube, and then that's where the cosmic cube comes in, and then you win the game. Captured, place 0 strength hero in your domain on this card, lose 1 loyalty. This hero is no longer in any domain, the ability is no longer active. At the start of your turn, if a hero is here, set their strength to 1, and place this hero in any other domain. Oh. Okay, so you capture a hero, because you're going to do scientific experiments on him, and then you're going to put him in somebody else's domain. Right? So this is Madame Masque. So Clint Barton makes sense. So Clint Barton, Hawkeye. So I guess they had to do this, right? Because of certain cards will play off of their name or their alias, right? Because I think someone would say like, pull a card that has Iron Man in the name, right? Or discard Iron Man or whatever. So they had to put his nickname. The problem is they didn't put Clint Barton. They put Hawkeye. So it doesn't make sense. All right, so you got Hawkeye. You got Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Right, so you get both Hawkeye. What's this say? Madame Masque gains additional 1 vendetta and 1 power from defeating Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Okay, so that's just what she gets. Okay. Black Widow. Jasper Sitwell. Again, just a weird one for them to add. I don't remember much about him in the comics. Tony Stark. His name's familiar. I remember his name, but I don't know what he did. So it's here. See? Tony Stark, Iron Man. So again, they showed Tony Stark. That's what, well. Moon Knight. So there is a Moon Knight Disney Plus series coming out. Very weird comic. The guy's got psychological issues. And you're never really sure whether or not what he's doing is real or not. You just have to think that it is, and he's not actually crazy. Hard to Trust. Prisoner of S.H.I.E.L.D. Remove an ally. Remove an ally. All right, and then no one gets out alive. Madame Masque cannot take a vendetta action. Okay, well that's not good. And then gain 1 vendetta and 3 power once defeated. It's very low though. It's only 6. It's not too bad. All right. Family Thugs. So, okay, so these are her basic allies. But basically, she gains 1 power. Nefaria Family Soldier. She gains 2 power. And she moves. All right. Nefaria Family Leaders. Gains 3 power when she moves. All right. Count Nefaria. Pay 2 power. Deal cards in the deck. Play hero to his location. Okay, so that's what I was saying. There's got to be ways that she can get the actual heroes into her location as well. The Hood can only be using contract vanquish actions. We use vanquish action, gain power equal to twice the strength of the hero. So it says contract vanquish action. So there must be something in here that's going to say contract, I guess. Syndicate is played, relocate all heroes. All right. Dreadnoughts. Pay the Dreadnoughts hero to another domain. The hero loses 2 strength. When defeated by any villain, counts as a contract vanquish. Okay, so she gets a contract vanquish for that. Tools of the trade. When attached, you get additional strength. Ally and vanquish. Same location. Decoy is returned to the hand, and instead the decoy gets discarded. Okay. So it makes it so you don't lose your heroes. There weren't many. She didn't have many. Line of sight, so that's what we saw will allow her to vanquish in another domain. Setting a trap. Okay, so you can reload a hero in another domain to her domain. So again, another way to get them so she can defeat them. Escape plan, recloak any hero to a domain. Oh, she gets to send them to another domain. Okay, so you could kind of combo that, because that's a 0, right? You can combo that with line of sight, or maybe you've got too many at the time, not enough to kill them, and you need to open up some space. On the hunt, relocate an ally to a location with a hero, so it's a quick way, and that's a 0 as well, so a quick way to get your heroes where they need to be. No Mercy, gain a Vanquish action. Hero defeated in the Vanquish action counts as a contract. Alright, so that's your contract, so a couple of those. Payday, collecting power from a contract game 1, so that's her specialty. She gets additional power when collecting power from a controlled location game 2. So the question is, can you have both, or does one replace the other? I'll have to read that. I don't know what the specialties, if you can. I'm imagining you can only have one in play because there's only one spot, so you'd have to replace it with the other. I don't know what I was doing. I'll just put you up there. Until I figure out what I'm doing, I'll put them up there. Alright, so the final deck, of course, is Loki. So you get Odin. Odin Allfather comes in here. You get Thor Odinson. So instead of just saying Thor, it says Thor Odinson. So they are giving them different names at least. And I guess that is, like I said, because there may be cards that specifically say a specific thing. You have Sif. Jane Foster, so you get the Mighty Thor. Jane Foster. Heimdall. Oh, I guess that was it. So I was thinking when I went through the core box that maybe this one would have Valkyrie, but it doesn't seem to have it. Payment due, need to pay power equal to the multiverse. What do I do? Target a villain with multiverse in their name. So again, this is only affecting Loki right now because he's the only one with multiverse. Maybe if they do something else that's multiversal, if there's a Doctor Strange. Oh, speaking of it, I thought Doctor Strange would be in here and he's not. So maybe if they do Dormammu, right? Doctor Strange, they can do multiverse with that as well. Not dead, just resting. Discards their hand and draws a villain card. Banished. Their power is reduced to 1. Right? And then you have Ragnarok. Right? The end of times. 10 strength to get rid of it. Loki cannot spend mischief. Okay. But when he's removed, remove the number of heroes and allies equal to the number of spent mischief you have. These can be chosen from any and all domains. Okay. Alright, and then you also have Thor as an ally. That's just going to get weird, but again, I guess it makes sense. Multiversal, right? So you can have Thor out 3 different times in a sense. Because you can have Thor Odinson, you can have Thor, brother of Loki, you can have Thor from the core box, and you can actually have Jane Foster Thor. Now, did they do that? Did they? Okay, she's got the hammer. And he's got the hammer. Okay, so I didn't know if they were going to give him his axe. It looks like they gave him the hammer. Because he was called the Odinson. I guess because he does say Thor. He was called Odinson when he lost the hammer. Jane Foster picked up the hammer. Go read the comics. So Thor, brother of Loki. Lorelei. So Lorelei is a trickster as well. Verity Willis. So she can tell if he's lying. So Verity Willis in play. Loki's hand size is 5. However, cards drawn from your villain deck are now shown to other players before putting them in your hand. Okay, so yeah, so Loki can't lie. So you have to show them your cards. That's actually kind of cool. Lei, Loki's BFF. We did see her in Hela's deck as well. On your turn, you may perform 1 additional action. Loki's BFF is currently out. So Frost Giant, so his dad's coming to help him. More Frost Giants. So Kid Loki, here's where you're getting the multiverse aspects. King Loki, so you get his different versions. Viking Loki, Sorcerer Supreme Loki. Okay, Sanctum Sanctorum makes sense now. We figured it out. So I guess in a multiverse, he was the Sorcerer Supreme. I've not read that, so I've got to go hunt down that comic. That seems like it'd be fun to read. Lady Loki, of course, he was a Chica for a little while. The Destroyer, this is the good armor, the protector of Asgard. But Loki, for whatever reason, seems to get his hands on it quite a lot, and it listens to him. Scepter of Asgard, gain some strength. Pay power mischief, spend more mischief to gain 2 power. Again, gaining more power, mass power. Spend mischief, relocate any multiverse card to either a new domain or a new location in the same domain, or remove it from play. Okay, so you can get your multiversal characters out and about. There's a lot of that going Who's the tricky one? Pay power equal to the number of multiverse cards in play, then gain that much mischief. Power of a god. Spend mischief tokens to equal to the strength. Remove that hero and any equal or lesser strength ally in the same. Okay, so it's basically, this is basically just a vanquish action. Simple enough, right? You pay your mischief to be able to perform a vanquish action, but it's acting the same as a normal vanquish where you're going to lose your ally as well. The most brilliant jest, that's right, because he made Thor into a frog in a while. Place -1 strength equal to the strength of a hero in any domain. Place -1 strength tokens equal to their strength. Okay, so basically takes your strength down to 0. And then you can perform a vanquish action to get rid of them. And then the 10 realms. So this is his specialty. Start your turn, you may spend 3 mischief, move Loki to the same location as a multiverse character. You may use that location's actions. Remain there until the next turn. Other villains may not move your current location. Return to any location in your domain on your next turn. Hang on. Okay, so you can actually move to somebody else's domain. That's what it's saying. So basically, if you put your multiversal characters out and about, then you can move to that location in their domain and be able to use that domain's actions. So if they've already faded you, you've got a bunch of stuff covered up, you can't get the ability you want to get, hey, you can be able to use their actions instead. All right, so we go after our mover tokens, people tokens. So this is Masque. So most of them are very similar. I've mentioned it in the core box, right? It's a solid plastic. People were saying the core box was cheap, but this feels just as good as the Disney. The only difference is not translucent because that was the style they were going for. I have no problem with that. So you got her 2 guns and her mask. Okay, and it looks, and a utility belt around the side. Okay, so that is Masque, and she is now upside down Masque. Turn over. There we go. All right, and then we have M.O.D.O.K, which looks kind of like M.O.D.O.K. He's got little fiery jets underneath of him. So some of them, they've done a very silhouette exactly looking like them. Hela in the core box. Some of them, they're just more of a abstract. I like the abstract look better. I mean, this is cool. I like it. But I like that abstract look like a rating of Madame Masque, Taskmaster, Ultron, right? Similarly, so now we have, so this is the Frost version. So you can see it's kind of got that frosty, and it is more translucent like the Disney Villainous one. I mean, it looks cool. It's just not what we would like. So we're going to have to find the regular box, and then I guess we'll have to sell this one, maybe do a giveaway. We don't know. We'll do something with this box at some point in time. Or, I mean, if somebody watching this wants this particular mover and they have the green one and they don't want that, we'll send you the sleeve and the mover. Just get in contact with the email or on one of the social medias. But yeah, he's cool. It looks like Loki. It's got his horns. It looks like his cloak. Then he's got the scepter back here. Ooh, there we go. You're focusing. I know you're trying to focus it back there on the. Well, now it's not trying to focus on the extra life dice when I want to talk. But there we go. That is the Loki mover. So of course, guys, we will be playing these during our Marvel Villainous week. Get in there, Loki. Get back in your hole. There you go. I don't think that's the right way. Maybe it goes this way. There we go. Well, we'll be playing these during Marvel Villainous week coming up this week. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, bell notification to know when we go live. We will have them scheduled as well, so you can head over to the live section, click that reminder on the live video. Come out and chat. Come out and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. Because as always, we play these games for the first time when we play it on the channel. That way we give a good representation of a new game and how it plays, and you can kind of, see what we do wrong. That's probably not the right way to make videos. We're going to keep doing it that way. So until next time, guys. Peace.